Welcome to another episode of Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with your host, myself, Damon, the agent. Hey, I want to thank you all for joining me each and every Friday at 12 noon. And real quick, before we begin, please go ahead on and like and follow me on all social media platforms. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And make sure you follow me on my YouTube channel. All right, you all. Today we're going to talk about new construction. Yes, new constructions, because there are many facets to new constructions. So I just wanted to go over a few people because I've been getting questions about new constructions a lot, and because it's a topic of discussion, I just want to just share with you all as well. Now, first of all, one of the questions that I keep getting is, and I wrote it down: do I need an agent when I purchase new construction? Do I need real estate representation when I purchase new construction? The answer to that is no, you don't need it, but you should have it. I don't like to say the word need and everything because a lot of people have purchased new constructions without having a realtor, but you should have one. It's similar to like when you go into a court of law and you don't have an attorney and you have the prosecutors trying to make you take a plea on something that you know that you're innocent. So I say it in that way just to say there are many aspects of real estate that if you are working with a reputable and good real estate professional, it would save you thousands of dollars. You all can Google any new construction company out there, and you're going to see that some of them have complaints. And some of the complaints that they have could have been prevented if they would have had the proper representation. Don't get me wrong. There have been situations where people have gone into new constructions with a real estate professional and the real estate professional didn't do anything because in that case, they didn't know. But like I said, if you know, you can actually save thousands having a good real estate professional. Now, the reason why I say that is because I've had plenty of clients who purchased new construction, and I recall one time a couple of years ago, it was a client of mine, and she went. I was showing her houses, and then she went into after I got finished showing her houses, she went into a new construction. And back then, when you went into a new construction, you had to fill out the form and they will always ask you the question, are you working with a realtor? Well, they've changed that over the years. Okay. Um, and of course she was working with me. So she told me about it afterwards. And then we went into the new construction the very next day. And the sales rep that was there, I had a discussion with my client. And then I told the sales rep that we wanted to put in an offer for X amount of dollars with these type of terms. And the sales rep told me, they're not going to accept that. But I clearly explained to the sales rep, you don't make the final decision. So let them send back something in writing. So after we submitted that, my client's offer did get accepted with all of the terms. But I just say that to say that I saved her thousands of dollars because there's certain things about new constructions that I know that some people don't know, and like a lot of other people know too. It's just about having the knowledge and the know-how about new construction. Now, another question that I get is why are so many new construction townhouses being built instead of single family homes? The answer to that question is simple. People are buying them. That's why. And on top of that, some people who buy the townhouses are actually not living in the property. They're actually renting them out. And some people will prefer to rent, because when your rent is usually temporary, they will prefer to rent a new townhouse than to be in an older townhouse or to be in an apartment. So because people are continuously buying them, and with the builders in the space, they can get 2 or 3 townhouse, slightly less price than a single family home, produces the builders more money. So what they're doing is utilizing their space. It's just like in DC, you will see a lot of houses being turned into condos now. Now, houses that it might been sold for 500,000, 600,000 in DC, you got two, three condos. Condos are sold at 700,000, 800,000 a piece. So that's just trying them to utilize space because they don't live in it. Trust and believe, most of the builders have a single family home somewhere. They're not living in a townhouse. But as long as people are going to continue to buy, they're going to continue to sell. So that's the reason why so many townhouses are being built. Now, going back to this, um, someone asked, why should I use a real estate agent? Why should I use? Well, I just kind of elaborated that previously that, you know, an experienced, knowledgeable real estate professional will save you thousands. One who is not, you know what I'm saying, you don't need one. If you walk into a new construction, you don't need one. But here's the thing. For those who bought new construction, once they build the house up, however long it takes, 6 months, 9 months, a year, once everything is complete, they'll normally tell the buyer, go through the home. If you see any marks, put a blue tape on it, a blue tape on it. Well, a real estate professional, before you even get to that and everything, will have instructed you to do certain things so that you don't have to worry about the blue tape. The blue tape is basically just a paint mark. That's it. But it has nothing to do with the underlying condition of what's going on with the home. Some cases, they build homes relatively quickly. So you best believe there's certain things that you should do rather than just assuming because it's new and it's built up that, oh, there's nothing wrong. Because like I mentioned also, please Google any new construction that you want. And I say Google, do not go to that, do not go to the new constructions website and look at the reviews. Go to Google and look at the reviews. And I'm not, and when you look at them, of course they're going to have good reviews, but always look at the ones that are not good, the ones that are 3, 2, and 1, and see what those people have to say. And in some cases, you're probably going to find out that some of them could have used the services of a real estate professional. So I say that to say that new construction is wonderful because with new construction, you're normally the first person that lives in the property. It's always better to be the first one who's lived there than, sometimes in a resale situation because you don't know the history. That's one thing about a resale. You don't know the history. With new construction, you are the history. So, but of course, new is always going to cost you more. So please keep that in mind. As long as you have the funds and get financing, you're fine. But newer normally costs you more because anything that's new is going to cost more. Just like if you get a new car, it's going to cost more than a used car. Same thing with anything that's new. So new costs more. Um, Let me see. Yeah. So again, there's many assets to purchasing new construction. Location. They're building up nearly everywhere that you look. Of course, the pricing is conducive to the area, the cost of construction. Because remember, during COVID, the materials, the construction material went up skyrocketing, and just like everything during COVID, like with rent, gas, um, food, everything went up during COVID, and so did the cost of labor, so did the cost of construction companies getting the material and everything. So because the prices have went up with that, of course, the houses today cost more than the houses did a few years ago. So new construction is always a good way to go if you like it and everything. But please keep in mind that you don't need a real estate professional when you get new construction, but it is very good to have, especially one who has experience with new construction because they can save you thousands of dollars. And you know, I just wanted to mention that to you. So I'm going to go with my Q&A because I see one of my Q&As right now is related to the new construction. So my first Q&A, which is question and answer, when purchasing a newly built home, do you have to use the builder's lender? When purchasing a newly built home, do you have to use the builder's lender? The answer to that is no, you do not have to use the builder's lenders, but the builders always give incentives to make you persuade you to go that way in using their lenders. Many cases you will see stuff advertised and it will say giving $35,000 in closing costs. That $35,000 in closing costs they will tell you they will only give that to you if you use their preferred lender and preferred title company. Now, there are ways around that, meaning you can use your own lender, still submit the offer, and still ask for it and let them come back and tell you no. And if they don't provide it, then you just don't move forward. But no, you don't have to, but they prefer, most builders prefer you to use their lender and prefer you to use their title company. I will always say to do, whenever you're purchasing a home, you have the option of shopping around with multiple lenders. You can use the builder's lenders, let them send you over a good faith estimate so you can see what the numbers are, and you can have your own um, lender and look at their good faith estimate. You can compare the numbers and everything and see which one is going to give you the best deal. And if the builders want you to use there, then they have to match the numbers on the one that you were going to previously use. See, that's where negotiation comes into place, and that's where an experienced real estate professional can help you negotiate these terms and everything. So, all right, got another question pertaining to new construction. If I can use my own lender and title company, why won't they give me the $35,000? If I can use my own lender and title company, why won't they give you the $35,000? Because all money is not free money. So let me just summarize it. It's a cost for the lenders, and so they try to persuade you to use, even though they're getting paid off the home and everything. That's just their incentives. No seller has to give any buyers any incentives. It's not mandatory that a buyer gets any closing costs or anything. So because it's not mandatory that any buyer gets any closing costs or incentive, they don't have to give you anything. So that's the reason why. Again, like I said, it's an incentive that they normally would try to use to have you use their preferred lender and preferred title company, but you don't have to use it. But again, the preferred lenders that you do use, maybe they can match the builder's incentives. You have to, that's where negotiation, and that's where your real estate professional comes in to assist you at, because they can negotiate the terms based off the contract and based off the conversation. All right, so let me see any more Q&As. And let me say that all of these questions are good questions, so please have them to continuously come. Okay, another question is, how long does new construction normally take to complete? How long does new construction normally take to complete? All right, hold on. Okay, that's a good question. Again, the question is, how long does new construction normally take to complete? That is always dependent upon the builders, but typically from the ground up, it can take anywhere from 6 months to a year, just based off the material and also based off the weather. In many cases, like for example, in the areas doing the east, like in the area I'm in, wherever it snows or rains real heavy, that has an effect on them working on the new homes. If it's snow and it's extremely cold, they will not be working on homes. It's just how it is. So that will put things on pause until the weather has moved out. So it can vary. A lot of times with new constructions, when you write a settlement date on the contract with new construction, that date can and will be altered many times by the builders. But keep in mind, if you don't abide by the date of the contract, the builders will penalize you. So a lot of people don't understand that either, and they would try to keep your earnest money deposit, which in many cases they require a minimum of 5% of the purchase price. So if you're buying a home for 800,000, 5% is 40,000. That's what they normally require down in many cases, not all cases. So it's always contingent upon the builder. Those are the terms you have to discuss with the sales rep. And if you have your real estate professor, you can discuss that and negotiate that as well too. But that's the case in many cases. Now, that settlement date that's put on a new construction contract, if you, the buyer, don't uphold that, they will try to penalize you. But the builders, if they need to alter that date, They're just going to send over addendum and expect you to sign it. So these are things that occurs with new construction. There are many people who have lost their earnest money deposit because of things like that. The settlement date, them not being able to make settlement date, because in many cases, when you go into a new construction, if your credit is not up to par, let's say you're slightly below the approval, because it's 6 months or more to get the house built, they'll always tell you, oh, we can work on your credit. We can get your credit up. But if you don't get your credit up, they're going to keep your earnest money deposit. So please understand that everything that's in writing, please read everything or go over everything with your real estate professional if you choose to have one. And if you don't, please read over everything. Because again, like I'm explaining to you, or to Google any new construction company, you will see some of these people earnest money deposit was taken because they did not go forward, because it took longer than expected for them to complete the finish of the property, or they did not meet the settlement date, or some other things have occurred. So you got to be careful and stuff. This is why I'm explaining why you don't need a real estate professional, but it is best to have one, especially an experienced one. They will save you thousands of dollars. All right. These are great questions, you all. All right, let me go into my next segment. I'll be right back. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, my next segment that I'm about to talk about is called Black Sheep. Now, many of you might be wondering what a black sheep is, and I'm talking about the black sheep of the family. I was holding a discussion with someone earlier today, and they were explaining to me that they were not going to their family's Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving gathering, because of being, the elephant in the room, the black sheep, and all types of stuff. But I focused on the black sheep because it made me kind of look at my situation, like, because growing up, like my father's side was extremely dark. My mother's side was extremely light. Our growing up was like kind of, light brown, brown. So on neither side, I was kind of never accepted. I recall on both sides. My mother's side used to say I look like my father's side. My father's side used to say I look like my mother's side. When I looked, really didn't look like neither side. I looked like a mixture of both. And I say that to say that in the midst of, them labeling based off what side I looked at, I also looked at the way that I was treated by both sides as well too. And sometimes when you don't look like people, or people feel like you don't belong, they treat you differently. And sometimes you can be the black sheep of the family. It's just like if you ever see the whole herd of sheeps, you see majority of the sheeps are white, and the black sheep sticks out. And a lot of times, if you notice, none of the other white sheep are around the black sheep. And I say that to say that sometimes in our family is supposed to be unity. Family is supposed to be the ones who love you unconditionally, the closest one to you, your most protective. But in some cases, family can be the worst. Family they're the closest one to you, so they know how to hurt you more than an enemy actually does. And unfortunately, because of this, it's caused grief in many families. But what I've also seen throughout time is most of the time the black sheep is the one who ends up doing very well, or living the longest, or having the most, or being very likable by everyone outside of the family. While the family can still be bickering, be miserable, be unhappy, still talking about you, never been supportive of you. But then when they need something, they reach out to you. I say that to say to all the black sheep that are actually listening to this, I pray that you thrive and excel in your world and in your life. I pray that God touches you so much and abundantly that everybody around you sees it and knows. I pray that your family, or whomever you're the black sheep to, that they realize that you should never judge a book by its cover. because a lot of times, all of us in this world, we're all human. All of our blood is red, no matter what color you is. You get cut, your blood is going to be red. You know, everybody has an opinion like a butthole. You know, everybody has one of those. So I just say that to say that even with that, some people don't believe their stuff stinks when it does. Their attitude stink and they don't even realize it. The way that they treat their family and loved ones stinks. And what I also realize is that a lot of people in this world, including family, are miserable. See, misery loves company. That's why they'll talk about people so badly. They'll always deflect stuff off of them and try to focus on someone else. They'll try to talk about somebody, down somebody, because they want to feel good about themselves. But truth be told, you know what I'm saying? You ain't helping yourself nor the people you're talking about. Actually, it just, you know what I'm saying, makes you look bad for real. And I say that to say that so many black sheeps out here end up doing very well. You know why? Because it's about the heart. It's always a matter of the heart. So whenever you think that you are putting someone down, someone's beneath you, someone's not good enough because of the way that they look or they're outsider and they don't belong. We got this, and especially in America. This is why in all the other countries they don't like America, because Americans are spoiled. Americans feel entitled. American got this air about, what I'm saying, where we feel as though that person don't belong. You know what I'm saying? Because we're separated in this society, and unfortunately, we're separated in some of our families. A lot of other countries we can learn so much from. A lot of countries' family is like this. It's nothing but family. But in this country, it's all division. That's why a lot of times there's so many divorces, so many separations. There's not a lot of couples, especially in my race, that are together. Yeah, they might be living together, but they ain't really together. They ain't thinking or building together. They ain't growing together. They just content together. They just there together. And I say that to say that so many other countries thrive family wise, because no matter how much money you have in this world, without family, love, your sanity, and your health, none of that matters. Truth be told, you can be a billionaire. Steve Jobs was a multimillionaire. He might even been a billionaire. I don't even know. But he had a lot of money. But unfortunately, he lost his health. He lost a battle with his health. Robin Williams, the comedian, he had a lot of money. He lost a battle with his sanity. And I say that to say that no matter how much money you have, it's all about your sanity, your health, your family, and matters of the heart. You know, on this earth, it's the memories that we create with the ones that we love. And unfortunately, some people create bad memories with the black sheep of the family. And because of that, when the black sheep thrives or do well, they choose not to help. And can you blame them? You put a person down all their life, you talk about them all your life, and then you think they're supposed to come and sympathize for you. And I know in life, people always say, what would Jesus do? But let's be real. Many of us out here are not Jesus. We strive to be like Jesus. We pray to be like Jesus. But even when you drive into a church parking lot and someone cuts you off, you ain't acting like Jesus. And I just say that to say that we're all human. We're all human. So remember that every time that someone doesn't fit in and they're the oddball. Remember that when you have your family, or if you have a family and you're treating that one person because of the way they are so differently. And I'm not talking about treating them different in a good way. I'm talking about treating them different like it's their fault. Some things are not your fault. When you were born in this world, you didn't have a say so of being a male or a female. You didn't have a say so of what color you can be, what complexion you can be, how tall you can be, how you can look. You didn't have a say so. So reality is, all of us we're dealing with the hand that we were dealt, as far as looks, colors, complexion, where we were raised, how we were raised. We're all dealing with the hand that we were dealt. So when you're treating people differently because they're odd or they're different. And when I'm talking about differently, I'm not talking about, because you can treat a person different in a good way. I'm talking about different in a bad way, as if you're better. Just understand this. There's a rule of thumb in life, and it's called karma. Karma comes back on everyone, and life has a way of humbling everyone. No matter how much you're on the top, what goes up must come down. And what's at the bottom, what's down, will eventually go up, like the stock market or anything else. So I just say that to say that treat those like you would want to be treated. If you want to be treated mean, then frown at everybody, fuss at everybody, and cuss at everybody, and you will get treated mean. If you want it to be treated nice, smile at everybody, be nice to everybody, and it will come back on you. Understand, even if you smile at everybody, be nice to everybody, everybody ain't gonna be nice to you, because many people out here are so used to being mean that even when you're nice to them, they don't know how to receive it because they're not used to anyone being nice. And I'm gonna end on this because that just reminded me. A lot of times I smile, and people say, "You smile? Why you smile so much?" I smile so I don't frown, because when I was younger, I used to frown all the time. Growing up in high school, growing up in neighborhoods that I grew up in, I used to frown all the time until a female said, you look too good to be frowning." So then I started smiling. And then I realized every time I smile, I got more of a positive feedback from people when I smile than when I frown. But then when you smile a lot, you're never going to please everybody, because I was smiling and then somebody said, "Oh, he smiled too much. He's slick. Something, he up." I smile to keep from frowning. You understand? Plus, I also smile is because I'm going to get more positive feedback than if I'm frowning. I smile because I want to get more positive feedback than if I'm frowning. So I just say that to say to all the black sheeps in the world, just understand that you winning whether you realize it or not, because people hate on you because of your presence, your existence, not because they really know you. It's because of the threat of you. So just continue to be you, and everything's going to be all right. All right, y'all. I'm going to come back with my closing remarks. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. Please follow me on all social media platforms. YouTube, please subscribe and follow me on my YouTube channel. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, Snapchat, and TikTok. You don't stop. Yeah, so follow me on all my social media platforms. You all, I will greatly appreciate it. So here's my recap of the day. New construction. Do I need a real estate professional when I get new construction? No, you don't need one, but it is best to have one, because a real estate professional can save you thousands of dollars. You don't go into a courtroom without a lawyer. If you do, you're going to have the prosecutor trying to get you to take a plea, and you may be innocent. Let's not do that when you go into new construction. Trust me, it won't cost you what you think, and it will save you more than you think. And I talked about black sheep. Look, many of us are black sheep of the family. We got people in our family who don't like us. We got people who hate on us. We got people who lied on us in our family, and we ain't do nothing to our family. It ain't us, y'all. It's them. They're miserable and they're unhappy. And remember, misery loves company. So next time you see that family member, just smile at them. Smile at them and keep your third eye open just in case they try something. You can knock their head off. But I say that in a laughing manner, but I'm serious at the same time, though. So again, I want to thank you all for joining me. Please check out my website, DamonTheAgent.com. You all can also follow me on all my social media platforms on my website. And if you have any questions, please let me know and everything. You can always DM me. I thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on next Friday at 12 noon. Thank you.